Welcome back to Web Woman. I'm Lauren Webb. I'm so glad that you're here with me. I am coming to you from inside of my plant wonderland in my corner over here. This is my favorite spot in my house because it is a center of like just a concentrated amount of beauty and life force over here. And so I decided to sit in front of it so that you guys could participate with the beautiful, abundant, life-giving energy that these plants give me. And that kind of plays into what I wanted to talk about today, or continue talking about today, which is that giving and receiving essence of the universe, an essence of unity. This is quite the topic, right? It kind of covers everything. It touches every single part of us. It touches every single every single belief that has been coming up. I have been putting it to that test of is this giving and receiving, or is this taking and keeping? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, in the previous video, I guess it's about 2 videos ago, I was talking about a quote that I saw the other day that has just struck me, and I've continued to mull it over through different conversations with all of my friends, all of my beautiful conscious connections that I have, and all of us have agreed this is something that that the consciousness is shifting from taking and keeping, which this quote said is in separation, to giving and receiving as the essence of unity. I absolutely love this quote. Unity is giving and receiving. Separation is taking and keeping. And like I said, I absolutely love this quote because when you sit with it for just a moment, feeling what is giving and receiving feel like in my body. Giving and receiving. Well, let's start actually with the what I would say being the current or most recent state of affairs and consciousness. What does taking and keeping energy feel like in your body? So just take a moment while we're sitting here, because any revelation that we get that does not become embodied simply becomes a tool for the ego to use against us. And so that's not my quote, that's Aaron Abke, as was the original Unity and Separation quote. I want to give credit where credit is due. Aaron Abke is an amazing teacher. And so I'd highly recommend going. And his videos on this exact topic are so beautiful and wonderful. And if you're looking for a deep dive into some really intense teaching and connections to be made, I highly recommend to go and follow Aaron Apke's videos on this. But this is my perspective, and I want to bring us into the embodiment of this also. So just with me, where you are, I want you to think of an instance where you have felt, I'm going to use the word selfish, and I'm going to, full disclosure, I do not think selfishness is a bad thing, and that's like a whole other topic, but I don't think selfishness is a bad thing. But the kind of selfishness that I'm talking right now is not simply like thinking of yourself first and taking care of yourself, because that's one thing that has been labeled selfish in our culture that may or may not be selfish depending on the context. Context is very, very important. As a friend and I were talking about this time, context is everything. So I want you to put yourself in this context I'm about to describe. Put yourself into the context of that moment when there is only a little bit of, okay, I'm in Texas, right? We do chips and salsa on the table. I want you to come to the moment where there's only like 3 chips left in the basket, okay? If you don't know what chips and salsa are, I'm sorry, you need to come to Texas and experience chips and salsa. But basically, you get salsa and you have chips, and everybody at the table kind of shares them, and it's a great thing. It's amazing. However, there's this moment where you have just a little basket of chips, and you have this great salsa. It's delicious. It tastes so good, but you have to have a chip, right? You can't just spoon it in your mouth. That would be awkward. So you go and you look at the chips, and there's only 3 left. And you have 2 urges. One is, well, I should let everybody else have it. Poor little old me. I'm gonna just leave it there. And of course, none of this is really happening in your mind. It's just that fast, depending on your belief system. You either go towards, I should let everybody else have it. I should share. This is what's kind. Or you go into this energy of, I'm going to grab these chips as fast as I can. I'm going to grab 2 of the 3 that are left. That way I can get the salsa that I want, right? Both of those instances, I want you to pull those into your body. This is the energy of taking and keeping. Not a bad thing. I'm not judging the chip debate. I'm not even saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm using it as an energetic exercise to get you viscerally into the energy of there's not enough. Either I get it or you get it. Either I can be satiated and feel good, or you can. This is the essence of competition. This is the essence of lack. This is the essence of not enoughness. This is why we feel in our body that we must take and keep something, because there's not enough to go around. There's not going to be enough chips. There's somebody's got to eat it. It might as well be me. Or no, I'll let someone else have it and I will martyr myself and feel so good because I'm the good one. Do you see the difference? It's so sneaky. It doesn't matter which direction you choose, whether it's giving in the taking and keeping energy is, I'm going to give to you, but don't worry, it's going to come back to me somehow. Like I'm going to get mine, Feel that energy. If you're having the experience that I am, I feel, and you can tell me in the comments, like, what does taking and keeping energy feel like? I can feel stress in my spine. I can feel my shoulders curling in. I can feel the back of my neck tensing. I can feel even in my solar plexus, this energy kind of pushing outward to where it's kind of shielding me from the world. I can feel in my kidneys back here a tensing and a tightening. I feel my hips being drawn inward instead of opening gently. I feel my toes collapsing in on themselves, like I must. Taking and keeping energy is 100% Gollum from Lord of the Rings energy. It is I must have. And if I don't have, something's wrong with me. If I don't get this thing outside of me, something is wrong with me. So now, if you've viscerally experienced that, shake all of that off, get it out. Deep breath, come back, put your hand on your forehead if you need to, because I don't want that energy of taking and keeping stuck. So I want to come back to neutral. Come back to neutral, deep breath. Give yourself a little hug, because this is what the energy of giving and receiving feels like. Are you ready for it? We're going to create this feeling in our body so that from here, you can come back here and you can remember what giving and receiving feels like. And then you can take every experience that you have, every belief that you have, and you can put it up against this visceral feeling in your body. Your body cannot lie to you. If you're listening to it, she or he will tell you exactly what this belief feels like. And when you feel the belief, you'll be able to know right away. This is small Gollum taking and keeping energy, or this is expansive, abundant, giving wholeheartedly and receiving easily energy. So here's how that works. Going back to the chips and salsa idea. Are you ready? There's 2 or 3 chips left in the basket, and you're starting to feel yourself cave in the lack mindset. And then all of a sudden, the server walks up and has 2 giant baskets of chips. And they say, I noticed that you were running low on chips, so I went ahead and brought you double because you'll finish those off really fast. And now there's enough for everyone almost to have their entire own basket, and you never have to worry about chips again. You can get your fill, and trust me, there's more than enough to go around. And you look around at the other tables and you realize that every single table has chips overflowing onto their table, and they have enough salsa, and everyone is laughing and everything is okay. I know the chips is a super silly reality, but it's a tiny microcosm of what we do every single day, where we perceive something to be less than, to be lacking, like we'll never have enough. Like if I get some, you won't. But what's really going on is there's someone, something, there is an energy of abundance that is constantly watching and constantly waiting for you to open and see. Everybody has plenty of chips. There is no shortage on chips and salsa in this restaurant. So take a moment and feel as you breathe, as every breath comes into your body, and recognizing there is so much air to go around. Me breathing does not take air away from you. This is the world that we live in, where every single one of our needs, of our wants, of our desires can be met in a breath. Unity is giving and receiving. I am not separate from anything or anyone. As you receive, I receive. As you give, I give. As I receive, you can receive. As I give, you give. Because I'm giving from this full open heart. And guess what? From me, nothing can be taken. It's not possible for anything of what is truly mine and truly me can be taken, because the energy of mine, the energy of this is mine, doesn't really exist. It's an illusion that the ego makes up in order to give us the perception of separation. The reality that we live in is we are united. We are one. We are all rays from the same sun. We are all star beings who have come from the divine, who are an expression of God on this earth, experiencing what would it be like if I perceived separation. That's what's so cool about this earth school that we're all a part of, okay? All that the separation is an illusion that we've chosen as parts of the divine, so that we could experience contrast, that we could experience separation, so that I can experience life as this separate being. Because if I was truly experiencing the unity, I wouldn't have this skin suit. I would simply be a part of everything floating around, and I would not be able to experience things, because the reason we feel hot is because we know what cold feels like. The reason we feel cold is because we know what hot feels like. The reason I sense sweetness is because I've tasted nothing, or I've tasted bitterness. The reason I know and can experience abundance is because I have let myself choose to know what lack feels like. And now I have a choice. Do I want to feel lack? Or do I want to feel abundance? Do I want to hold and grab and take and keep? And this is the beauty of this world, is this earth school, is that we get to choose. Do I want to feel small? That's a choice that the divine can make within us, of feeling small and feeling nothing, so that when we experience the bigness, the experience may be even bigger than we could imagine. So I would encourage you today, as we experience, I guess I'm going to actually really quick, I'm going to explain and use some words to explain what it feels like to feel abundance, so that you can start to feel that in your body too. You may feel it differently than I do. That's totally fine. But I'm going to tell you, I take a couple deep breaths, and I'm going to notice how big my world really is, how infinite, how marvelous my world truly is. When I start to think about how big and how wonderful and how amazing my life has really been and will continue to be, I start to feel my brow soften. I feel my chin and my jaw unclench. I feel my eyes crinkle on the sides as the tips of my lips curve upward in a gentle smile, because all of a sudden the beauty of the universe makes itself known more and more to me. And as I do so, I feel a beautiful, gentle tugging sensation at my heart, encouraging it to open more. I feel tears welling and just underneath my eyelids. I feel my fingertips experiencing the energy of the auric field around me, of myself, of these plants, of my dog that's right here, of the sunlight coming through the window. And I realize in my soul, in my depths, that all is well and all will continue to be well, whatever shows up, because it's just part of the experience. And I trust the giving of the universe, and I receive what it gives me with gentleness, with adoration and love. And anything that pops up, beliefs, realities that I perceive, illusions, I just gently receive them, notice them, and then I put them up to the question. Does this make me feel small, like a taking and keeping? Or does this make me feel expanded, like I can give and receive at the moment's notice? That I am participating in the devotional awareness of giving and receiving. As you breathe, if you want to experience this with me, just feel your chest opening, your spine straightening, maybe moving it around a little to release any tension, because we didn't come by this belief in a day of smallness, of a lack. We didn't just stumble upon it one day. We built it over years and years and years. From infancy on, we pulled in the beliefs of our parents, the beliefs of our grandparents, the beliefs of our school, the beliefs of our work, the beliefs. We've allowed them on some level to come in. And so as you just move your spine around, move your shoulders, expand your heart space, and then release. And set the intention. I give and receive. I participate in this glorious dance of giving and receiving, because I am a whole being. Thank you so much for being with me today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know. I adore you. I just want you to know that. I absolutely adore you. Thank you for being with me.